So welcome to the next class of Appium. In the previous class we were discussing about the basic of Appium. Now we'll switch to the installation and setup of Appium. Okay, so before I move further, okay, so here what I've already discussed is regarding this Appium stuff. So let me share my screen. Okay, so let me annotate about how this Appium actually works. So suppose this is your computer, okay, and this is your phone, and this could be your Android, and this is your Appium. So example, this is your phone, this is Android, this is Appium, okay, and this whole set is your computer. This will go with the two-way interaction, and from here it has to be one-way interaction. So now here your Android and phone. So don't get confused that you have your Android phones and here also I'm mentioning phones. So this is one and the same thing. No, this is not. Here Android means the Android software, okay, that you need to have in your system. Okay, right now I'm talking in the layman term. What is this Android software? Down the line I'll talk about this Android one. Okay, so example, you can say like you have your iPhone. So how the apps are developed in Mac? You have some studio, you have some Xcode to develop your apps. Okay, so you need to configure few requirements for developing an app in Mac. Similarly, in case of your Windows or Mac, when you are developing your Android apps, okay, for your Android phone, you need to have Android configured in it. Okay, until and unless you don't have your Android, you cannot work. Now, what is this Android? Okay, we'll talk about this, that what is this Android stuff here. So the basic this diagram depicts that like this is my Appium and this is my Android inside my system. So my Android software or the SDK of Android, we have here SDK. SDK means software development kit. Okay, this will interact with your Appium that would be present in your system, and this Appium will interact with your device. For Windows, it could be Android. For Mac, it could be Android or iPhone, any of them. Okay, this is the way that whole mechanism behaves. Okay, so now, like before we move further, okay, the main thing is how my devices would be configured and what devices I need to have. So even yesterday I was talking about the same that you need to have different set of devices. So guys, it would be great if you have your Android phones with you. Okay, and at the end of class we can discuss that uh, what are the, you can say, best suitable devices for testing, or which devices do you have for testing purpose. Okay, now before moving further, there are some prerequisites that we need to have, you can say, before going with the installation stuff. That is, first of all, I need to have Java in my phone. Okay, Java is important. So what I'll do is I'll install the Java in my machine. Okay, so open your browser and simply go to oracle.com and download Java. That's it. It's pretty simple. Look, inside this Java, we'll download it and configure it. Okay. Now downloading stuff is pretty easy. We know that just we need to go to any XYZ website and download it. Now how to configure this into your system. So that is main and important thing. So okay, let me open it. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, till the time my browser is getting refreshed. The second thing, okay. Download Java, Java 8, Java 7, you can go with anyone. Okay, and go to the website. So as you know that mainly the Java was being acquired by Oracle right now. But first of all, its license was with the Sun. Even you have heard about the you can say certification like SCJP, Sun Certified Java Programmers. That was with the Sun. Now it is with the Oracle. Now it has been turned to OCJP, Oracle Certified Java Programmer. This is just for the knowledge sake, okay? So once it loads, okay, it will show you the download page and you can simply download it. It's uh, as good as downloading any XYZ software from your internet. Okay. Okay. Actually, I'm incurring slow internet due to bad weather here. Let it load. Okay, no issues. Till the time it loads, can come back here. So guys, as soon as your Java would be downloaded, it would be as good as any exe file in your system. Okay, you have, you know how to install or how you need to download any software or something like that. Even you can get the zip version of that. Okay, you can get the zip version of that. After getting the zip version, okay, or after installing it in your system, it will look like this. Let me go here. Like in my system, in my C, okay, I have placed this Java. Now, after installing Java, because look, installation is not a big deal. Okay, configuration is a big deal. That how you configure Java in your machine. Okay, installing is as good as installing any software. So like for me, in my program files for Java, I kept my Java in the main only. So my Java is present here. Okay, if I open here, this is JDK 1.8. Guys, someone forgot to keep his mic on mute. Can you please go on mute, please? Thank you. So I have JDK and JRE. When you will download your Java and when you will install it, you'll get these two things in your system, JDK and JRE. So both are important. Okay. So I have the path, this JDK and this bin folder. Okay. Copy this path. Now just come here in your computer, just right click and go to your properties section. In your properties you have the option of advanced system settings. So click here. Now I'm showing you how to, you can say, configure Java in your machine. Okay. So in your advanced you have option of environment variables. Click over environment variables and come here. You're good to go. And inside here write new and you need to write here Java underscore home and your path. Okay, tell your folder and then you can press OK. Okay, for me I have already configured, so I won't be configuring it again. You just need to press OK here. So after pressing OK, it will look like this. Like for me it is coming Java underscore home C Java and this is the path. Now what you're given is you're given Java home here. Now the next step is we need to add this path to our variable. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to this path. Okay, you can edit this. Guys, do not fiddle with this path. If any of the path, anything is deleted here, okay, your system will get corrupt. Your Windows will get corrupt. So don't fiddle with this path. You need to be very careful when you are while you're dealing with this path variable. So what I'll do is I'll open it in some notepad so that you can have a more clear picture. Okay, so what you need to do here is you need to add here percentile java underscore home and percentile. Okay, sorry, I forgot to add home, percentile and semicolon. Can you see this last line? Java underscore home and percentile. One way is you can do it in this fashion. Okay, the another way of doing the same task is, like, suppose I don't want to go with this Java home and all that stuff. Okay, I don't want to add a variable here. You have copied your Java path, fine, and like I made here Java home. Yes, and you don't want to make the Java home here. So in the second scenario, what you can do is, instead of this Java home, you can directly, oops, sorry, let me go back till this bin folder. You can directly paste it like this and add a semicolon. This way, the way of doing this is called as a primitive type. Okay, that you directly went there. Okay, you copied the stuff and you have pasted the value here. And after this, you can even check, like, okay. After this, just copy it, come back, and inside your path, okay, you can paste it again. Or look, why I opened the notepad, because to give you a more clear picture for you, what you can do is, after this bin in system, you could be last path, you can just paste your path here. Okay, just the Java path. Like for me, it was C Java JDK 1.8 bin. That's it, and a semicolon. And then you need to press the OK button. Okay, after pressing OK button, okay, this will ensure that, look, I'm pressing cancel because I have not done anything, but you need to press OK every time, so to ensure that your Java is properly configured. So after configuring your Java, like you configure your Java, the next step is to check whether your Java is properly configured or not. Okay, so you can just write Java C here just to test whether your Java is properly present here or not. So that kind of ensures you that whether your Java is present in your system, whether your Java is properly configured in your system or not. Okay, so this is pretty important. So after going with this, okay, good. This website is also opened, so I can open this first website of Oracle. Okay, and here I can download the Java. Like suppose my Windows system is 64-bit. I need to accept the license here, and then I can click over this. Okay, even I can ping you this URL. Of downloading Java. Look, downloading Java. Look, I'm not telling. I won't explain you that how to install this software on your machine. That is pretty simple. The toughest part is how to configure it. I'm focusing on that, assuming that this installation is pretty simple. And if you face any challenge while downloading this Java or installing it, okay, you can just ping me one to one. I can assist you simply on that also. This is not a big deal. So after this Java stuff, okay, let me close it. Now the next step here is for your Android. I'm configured Java. Now I'll go with Android. After your Android, okay, I'll go with Eclipse, because these are the three major software that I need before moving further. Okay, so what about Android? Look, while you will be setting up your Appium, ensure that you have your good internet connection, you have good speed of internet connection, because down the line you'll be downloading at least you can say 4 to 5 GB of data. Okay, so ensure that you have a good internet plan and you have good internet speed, because you need to download and configure this stuff. So for this, like I want to go for Android. Similarly, download and configure it. Download Android. Look, if you want to download the Android, there is the official website of Google, that is developer.android.com. This is official website that is pretty maintained by your Google. So we'll go to this site. Look, in the primitive versions of Android, because we don't need this Android Studio. We are not developers. Okay, we are test engineers, or we have test analysts. We don't want to deal with this Android. But what Google has done is Google says that if you want to have the SDK of Android, you need to ensure that you are downloading the Android Studio. Okay, because we are in need of SDK. Because until and unless we have SDK, means the software development kit. Until I have that software development kit of Android, I cannot, you can say, write test case for Android. Similarly, the same case would be for your iOS also. While we'll be in iOS, I'll talk about that. Okay, so click over here, download Android Studio. Okay, and your exe would start downloading it for you. Okay, so what you can do is you can in a specific drive, okay, you can make a new folder, the name of your Android Studio, like I already have, but I'll go with a new one. Android Studio.
Only SDK is not available now to download, right?
Latest, actually you can get the SDK, but the SDK that would be primitive one, means in the sense the SDK won't be having the latest versions like 7.0, 8.0, that are all, this all stuff is bundled in your Android Studio only.
Okay,
So for
okay,
that purpose we need this exe. Okay,
okay.
okay, so we'll save it, and this will take good amount of time. Okay, depending upon your internet speed. Like suppose it's nearly 758 MB. After downloading this Android, okay, I'll show you how to configure it, because you need to download some software, some SDK tools for it. Okay, till the time I can show you my previous Android Studio, because I'm also downloading the latest one. I already have the previous one, but I'm going with the latest one. So till the time my Android Studio is getting opened, okay, what I want to emphasize here is that why this SDK is important. Let me show, come here, open the notepad. Just give me a second, let me annotate it again. So I was talking about this Android SDK and all that stuff. I was talking of this Appium. So why I'm downloading Android is for this purpose. Okay, this is the main, you can say, purpose of downloading it. Because until and unless I have this SDK with me, I cannot interact with the Appium. Fine. So that this is the main need of downloading this, all this stuff and all this stuff. Okay, let me come back. So even in the, okay, now my Android Studio is downloading. Let it download, and I've started the new instance of Android Studio. Let me check it. But this is pretty heavy software, so it takes some time even to open. Okay, it's opening in the background.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. So, is it a software or is it a ID like Eclipse or Ruby Mine or something like that?
It's as good as the ID, but right now I'm downloading the exe. So while I'll install the exe, I'll get a IDE. You're absolutely right. It's a IDE only. It's similar on the similar ground like RubyMine. Like if you've seen
Okay.
Xcode, RubyMine. Okay, these are from the different platforms. This is for Android development. RubyMine is for UB, and Xcode is for iPhone. Fine. So
Yep.
yeah, it's here. So it's loading. Your Android Studio pretty looks like this. Okay, so it's loading. Let it load. Okay, and after that I'll show you that what is the SDK component I'm talking from the start and how to configure that. Look, there are two ways of updating your studio. Like one is I have shown you that I am downloading it. Second is if you have the existing Android Studio, you'll open it, you'll get this pop-up window. Okay, you can simply click here update and it will start updating your Android Studio. So there are two ways of updating it. If you already have the previous version, you can update it from inside. If you don't have, then you have to go to the website that I have already talked. So it will just take a few seconds. Let it load the project and then I'll show you how it works. And one thing more here I want to add. Like suppose the most common problem that we used to incur. Suppose I'm testing an app and the app is crashing for me. Okay, and my developer used to ask, okay, can you tell me the test case or test scenario, and or it is not crashing for me, or that issue is I'm unable to replicate, but you are able to replicate that issue. So anyone can tell me that how can you can say delineate to your developer that you're getting this issue, or how can you show him what is the mean that way of doing it? Any idea? Are you getting my question? What I want to ask, guys?
So the application is crashing many times, and no need to reproduce that, right?
No, okay, not crashing. Suppose there is some scenario, and that is you are able to replicate it on your phone. I am not able to replicate on my device. Suppose I am a developer, you are a test engineer. So we are sitting on a remote location. We are not sitting aside. Suppose you are sitting in, I'm sitting in US. You are sitting in Australia. You are testing it for me. How can you explain to me, or how can you tell me that this thing is not working for me, or which software will you use to show me that is the scenario and all that stuff? So the name of software is Droid Screen. Okay. So what this Droid Screen does is because after configuring your Eclipse, okay, and this Android Studio, I'll come to this Droid Screen. So in this fashion, you just need to attach your phone to your system, okay, and then on a system you can see your whole of the phone, the real device, not any simulator. The real device would be shown on your phone, and then you can simply share your screen of your system, and then you can show it to anyone, like where it was crashing, what is the scenario. Okay, the real device would be, you can say, replicated on your system. So this software is used for this purpose. Okay, and in our approach also, like I'll be teaching you, I'll be also using the same set of software. So down the line when you are more into your practical world, you have a upper hand over the software. Fine. So coming back to my studio. So here I have a download button that shows me SDK Manager. Click over this button. After clicking over this button, this will take you to the SDK. So now what you need to ensure is you have selected Oreo, Nougat, and Marshmallow, Lollipop, and API level 27. This is the latest one, so ensure that you have this installed in your system. Just need to tap over it. After tapping over it, there would be a download button here. Okay, and then click over OK, or click over apply first. When you click over apply, it will ask you that do you want to install this stuff. Click OK, and this will start installing. Okay, this will take some time depending upon internet speed. Look, it has started the installation stuff. So similarly, like for me, the stuff was already present, but you need to install Oreo, Nougat, Marshmallow, at least till Lollipop. You should have every SDK with you. Yeah, any question?
So sorry to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in that notepad. I think this, yeah, right now I'm able to see this Android Studio. I'm not sure that the screen is, I mean, is slow or. Uh, so you talked about some installation, right? But your screen was still on that notepad page.
Okay, okay. No issues. I'll do it. I'll make it as a background first of all. Look. Now, can you see my screen?
Yes, right now, yeah, correctly. Is it is in default setting of Android Studio.
Exactly. How I have opened the
Yep.
settings is I'll show you. I have a button here in the my main Android Studio. I clicked over this button, this download icon with the Android one. Okay, and this new screen is shown to me. Here I have two options, three options mainly: SDK platforms, SDK tools, and SDK update site. So first of all, what I need to do is I need to install my Android SDK platforms. So I need to have 8.0, 7.1, 7.0 till Lollipop. You need to take over each and every version. Okay, and the latest API one. When you will just check this item, there would be a download button coming here, and then you need to click over apply, like apply here, then click over OK, and it will fetch the available component, and then it will start installing it in your machine. Okay, so I can move it in the background. Look, for me this Lollipop, Marshmallow, Nougat, Oreo, these are already installed, but for you, you have to install them. Okay, so ensure that till this API level 27 you have everything installed from Lollipop 5.1. Similarly, now it comes the main thing is SDK tools, because we were talking since the start of this class, we're talking of this SDK stuff. This is the main bundle that SDK platform and SDK tool, for which we have even downloaded our Android Studio. We don't need Android Studio except that. Only because of these two stuff we need it. So similarly, in case of your Android Studio, ensure that you have your latest Android SDK platform tools. This is very important. If you don't have your latest SDK tools, you cannot test on the you can say new devices like Oreo or 7.0. Okay. Similarly, you should have your Android SDK tools with you. I already have this Android support library. Fine. This Google Play billing library, this is needed because suppose in your app anyone has placed in-app billing, like have you heard about the term in-app purchase? Guys, have you heard about the term in-app purchase or something like that?
No.
Like in-app purchase is something like, suppose you're playing a game, okay, and after completing some XYZ levels, they say that okay, we'll give you XYZ powers, or you will get some XYZ benefit. You need to pay this amount, like any it could be like $10, $5, $2. So in some of the applications you have some in-app purchases. Okay, so that in-app purchase is maintained by your, you can say, this set of libraries, this billing library. So you need to have this billing library in your machine. And the main thing, like suppose I'm connecting my device to my system. Okay, so my system will come to know that I have did means I have attached some Android device or not. So for this purpose you need to have your Google USB driver. Okay, this is very important. Google USB driver, you should install your Google USB driver. Similarly, if you want to also go for web apps, you can also install your web apps one. Okay, these are the main requisite, you can say prerequisites, that you need to have in your system before moving further. And last but not the least, you should have your Android SDK build tools also. Okay, similarly, I'll click over apply. You just check all the items, click over apply, okay, and on the similar ground, it will also start updating the everything, right? So this will unzip, this will update everything. Everything would be on track for you. Okay, right now I'm canceling it. I'll also download it afterwards. So is this clear how this platform tools and this and SDK tools work? Now, because what I need is I need this path. If you can see this path, okay, on this path, everything is being updated for me. So this is the path where my Android SDK is present. Okay, and updated SDK. Now I'll use a better term, that is updated SDK. So my whole of this Android and all that stuff is updated. I have this updated SDK. Now the next thing I need to do is I need to set this Android SDK into my platform tools. Oh, sorry, into my environment variables. So similarly, like I did for Java, I'll come here. I'll open the properties. I'll go to advanced system settings. I'll go to this environment variables, and I can make here new and Android underscore home, and I need to give the path of my Android. So this is the path of my Android SDK. Okay, and then you need to click OK here. For me it is already there, so I'm not doing it. Now inside your Android, you can say home, what I need to configure is I need to go with the two things. One is tools, this one, okay, and another one is platform tools, this one. So I need to append this platform tools and tools. So for this, the simpler approach is like I'll enlarge it so that you can easily see it. Like one is I'll add the Android in this fashion, Android underscore home percentile slash tools. Okay, one is the tools. Similarly, I add semicolon. I'll again add Android underscore home percentile, sorry, percentile and platform tools. Okay, so I can add in this way. I can just copy it, and I can come back here, and in my path, let me open my path, and I can paste it in this way. Let me open my path. Like suppose if you can see here, this Android home tools, then Android home platform tools. I have configured both of them. Now the third thing is the new thing that has been launched in Android is, let me come back here. You are good with your platform tools, you are good with your tools. Now inside your tools you have a bin folder. So also you need to give the path of your bin also. So the third thing that you will be adding here is, let me come back. Let me re-annotate it. with your tools, okay, you also need to add one more thing here, percentile Android home percentile tools, your bin. So you need to add these three paths. One is your tools, one is your platform tools, another is your tools including your bin, because we need to go inside my bin directory. So these three paths has to be configured. So similarly, after configuring it, okay, you'll press OK, then again OK. I'm not doing it because it is already for me. Now similarly, like Java, you can check it here. Oops, sorry, I was supposed to check for Android. I'm checking for Java. Okay, no issues. Like I have written here Java version, it is giving me 1.8. Means Java 1.8 is pretty configured in my system. Okay, for your Android, just write here Android. Okay, this will tell you that this command is deprecated, but it has some following set of new commands. Okay, let that window open. Okay, it's loading. Let it load fully. Look, for me it is opening this SDK Manager because I have the previous version of my Android Studio, but with the latest Android Studio that has been launched pretty 2 to 3 months back, that's why I'm also downloading the latest one. They have changed the stuff. What they have done is, whenever you will write your command Android, it will say that this command is deprecated, but these are the set of new commands. This ensures that your Android is properly installed in your phone, sorry, in your machine. Okay, so guys, this much completes your Android. Now the last one is Eclipse. Similarly, so you can download any Eclipse that you want. That hardly matters. Like for me, I'm using this one. Okay, so you can just go to the website of Eclipse and you can download anyone. Like 30, if your Windows is 64-bit, 32-bit, depending upon your Windows version, you can go and install any software. And in Eclipse, you don't need to configure it. You just need to download it in your machine. Means downloading is more than sufficient for you. Okay, so download it and install it. Guys, I'm just stopping this recording here. Okay, what I want is that you should be ready with this softwares, the set of softwares by tomorrow, and then I'll move further about how to configure everything inside Eclipse. Look, we have downloaded Eclipse. Now we need to configure my, you can say, SDK of Android into Eclipse. Now we'll be doing that stuff.